Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. Everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. I'm Seven, we have Drew, and we have Corey, and we're going to talk about some movies, pop culture stuff. Let's go.
Yep.
How you guys doing today?
Doing all right. Okay, trying to just try to recover for what's already about to be another week. Sunday came way too quick. Weekends are never long enough.
Right.
But all right, hanging in there.
Definitely. What's going on with you, Corey?
I feel how Drew looks. I'm ready for this to be over.
The year?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. 2026. Better be better.
Wow. Well, all right. So let's start out with him because that has a huge buzz. I know we're going to talk about Haunted House, Cobweb, and Black Summer. But let's start out with him. Now, this is a new movie. It's not directed by Jordan Peele, but he's producing it. So there's some controversy with the marketing for this movie. Not only people expecting something different, but expecting this to be a Jordan Peele film, which it is technically not.
I call it more Hollywood trickery because they advertised it initially as, another Jordan Peele movie.
Right.
I would have argued that I could have sworn it said it was just a film by Jordan Peele, but then again, when you go and see it was produced by him, like maybe not. Is it the Mandela effect? Is it just, kind of funky advertising? Was something edited? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, he did produce this. It does show the premise of it. I would say kind of you would think it would fit in his wheelhouse too, just how it presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the execution of it, there's some things about this joint that I both liked and disliked about it. To be fair, I'll start there.
Before we jump in, I just looked it up, and it's not Jordan Peele. It was produced by Jordan Peele's production company, Monkey Paw.
Yeah, that's why you even had the Monkey Paw logo when they advertised it. So when I went in, this was like the day and up till, I think, I'd learned he actually hadn't directed it. This is a guy by the name of Tipping. Can't remember what his first name is. His last name is
Justin.
Tipping. Yeah, Justin Tipping. And he's like an associate of his, obviously. It was through Monkey Paw, but it wasn't necessarily a Jordan Peele joint. It's not one of his films, per se. But that being said, the setup, the premise, the plot, overall, I think what the idea the film was trying to get at, it is something that I see he would, if you presented that idea to him, it fits in his wheelhouse. It definitely has elements where it's like, yeah, this is like a Monkey Paw type of thing. The rest of it, without just outright saying it's bad, I didn't like it, it's more of an art film. It's more of an art. Like, what is it, A24?
Mm-hmm.
What's the hipster studio? Is it A24, A22, A20, whatever?
A24.
A24, yeah. They make a lot of those kind of, heady joints where scenes just kind of drag on. They carry on for a bit. There's, things that happen that'll fall more into the realm of the surreal and the cerebral than what you would call conventional storytelling. Sometimes it works, other times not so much. And other times I just think it's outright just navel-gazing. But, just basking in the smell of its own farts. But this one, him falls for the first two acts without spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
The first two acts are actually kind of interesting. Can't recall what the main actor dude's name is, but he plays a character named Cameron Cade. Right, he's like a quarterback dude, and from the time that he was, I think, 4 or 5, his family are like, you see early on that his family are like dedicated football heads, and that's the premise of the film. It's the idea that this film explores the cult mentality and this very surreal trip that Cameron goes to upon he's like a number 1 draft pick or something like that. He catches the eye of Marlon Wayne's character, who plays, what's his name, Isaiah White. He's like this, like, all pro, all state, 8-time champion winning MVP quarterback dude. And he's in his 40s, I think now. He's up there in age. And he'd suffered this crazy injury that you see at the beginning of the film, which does suck you in. It's an effective job of sucking you in when it comes to setting the idea of football as a culture, how Cameron is indoctrinating this culture from a very young age. His dad's like literally hovering over him. There's a whole thing. It's heavy-handed, but there's this whole thing when it comes to like religious iconography or religious symbolism or savior-esque like stuff with the culture of football. They do this interesting thing where it like takes on its own religion, you could say. And Cameron is from the point of view as like a child, he was indoctrinated into that. He sees Isaiah take this crazy injury, and his dad tells him, "See, son, that's what a man does out there on the field. That's what you have to put in that type of dedication." And immediately from the jump, you're like, "This is okay. I see where you're going, film. I kind of dig where you're going with this whole idea of it's the religion of football that he's following." Cut to later, and he gets basically like attacked, I guess, by like a crazy fan. What we think is a crazy fan, who hits him in the back of the head with like a hammer or something, and he gets this crazy injury. And after that, the doctors basically tell him, "Yo, dude, you might want to second guess this whole football thing. You're more than concussed. You have brain stuff going on." He gets this kind of cool looking scar, but like they tell him, like, "Dude, it's up to you if you want to continue."
Now, this is Wayne's character?
No. This is Cameron's character. He was training the younger guy. I'm sorry if I missed that detail. But Cameron's deal is he has this brain injury. And you as the audience member are asking yourself, as he gets further into this world of basically becoming what they call the GOAT, the greatest of all time, but there's also a double meaning to that because you also sacrifice a goat. A goat is a religious figure, right? It's this whole angle of, is this actually happening? Is there this weird cult of football nutcases running this whole industry and this whole religion? Or is this a guy who's been concussed and he's still taking hits and still doing football stuff, and he's just kind of losing his mind? The film could have played with that more. It does in elements, but it's not effective enough to where, after a point, you just know, no, this is just the world and things around him and how people get down. So it becomes patchy, I think, after a point, and I'm not going to call it bad to round all of it down. I won't call it bad. I'll just say...
Would you watch it again?
Probably not. I mean, maybe to catch certain things, but I would say normally for things that I missed, right? I usually do that for films, even if I don't like them. But for this one, probably not. If so, just because there are certain things that they set up prior to, and things that make you question, was this actually something that happened, or was this all in this kid's head? So, but aside from that, you can check it out on streaming. You don't got to rush out and see this one. It was all right.
Oh, they left it open enough where that whole... See, I don't like that. I like when they commit.
They commit to something. I just don't quite think it was the thing for this film and the type of film that they're aiming for.
Right.
And again, if you guys see it, we want to come back and do a part 2 with spoilers.
Right.
I can go into more of the meat and like nooks and crannies of why I didn't necessarily rock with the film. I see what they were going for, but that execution it needed work. It needed some more cook time.
It's funny. So I got everything you said about it without giving things away. I got that from just the trailers, which made me not want to see it. I was like, no, this is a story I don't need. Sorry.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And it's okay. I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I normally agree with you, but you want to know what got me to go? What maybe made me down to see this one?
Right. What is it?
It had Jordan Peele's name in it. I was like,
and that's what made me mad.
Yeah, that's what kind of it irritated me. But I'm like, you know what though? Of my own volition, I could have just sat down and looked up who was the director, the whole deal behind the scenes. I didn't do that. I just took it at the initial trailer's word.
Right.
So realizing a day before, literally, this isn't directed by Jordan Peele. He produced it. It's a monkey paw joint, but it's not his. I'm like, oh, okay. Bait and switch, but it's kind of my own fault.
Right.
But so I don't know. I want to say, how Jordan Peele is a household name. So no matter if he's associated with it or not by some degree, I feel like a lot of people are going to support him no matter what. if he did direct this, if he didn't. So I feel like I would want to see it. It kind of sounds like a guy country football kind of mentality, cult-ish type thing. But I think I would see it just to support.
It goes
Jordan
a little
Peele's
deeper than
production
that,
company.
but yeah, most people do. He's garnered that kind of goodwill with his audience by now, to where if you
Right.
put his name on it, dudes like me will show up. People
Right.
who are Jordan Peele fans, they'll show up. And the premise, it's interesting enough to, again, I could imagine that pitch meeting where if you put that project to him, it's like this supposed to be this basically this surreal delve into football culture. And the idea of becoming like a great athlete and a great national athlete, how they prime and set these guys up, these athletes, to effectively be either a sacrifice or a gladiator in their industry, right? Which garners in billions. So the idea itself is interesting. And again, if you presented that from the scope of a Jordan Peele film, yeah, I'm in.
It sounds
I'll
good.
go.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Yeah,
It's just
it
the
works.
marketing is just that, like you said, the bait and switch thing, I think, is unfair.
The marketing was a little tricksy with
Because
that.
when you consistently do that, then at some point, it's kind of like where people will dangle, I'll just say Denzel's in this film. Okay, cool. Not the best example, but, if he were to do six films in a row that were trash, now you kind of killed it, and also there's a pressure, like when you take someone's name to be synonymous with work, that now, like, I guess there's so much more pressure on the work now. The expectations are high because now you said it's a Jordan Peele film, the expectations are high, which in some way now take away from the actual director,
Yeah.
let them kind of win on their own accord.
Happen. Yeah, that can happen. I'll say that if the film is good, though, if the film has enough about it to where it garners like even a cult following, I'd call that a win.
Right.
Will this be that film for this director? I'm not sure, but I will say that it definitely is it's on another positive note. It does kind of showcase his like cinematic skills. It's shot really well. If nothing else,
we're in Sinners territory.
It's
shot really well. It's amazing visually.
No, Sinners was just you just gotta let that go, Seven. I disagree with you. Seven Sinners was dope. But
and I saw it again. I saw it again 2 more times.
Okay.
And it got worse. I was like, this is worse than I thought.
So you said the same thing about
story.
Tenet, and Tenet's great. So
what happened?
You froze on me for a second. I'm like, is he building up to something? What's he powering up? But again, Sinners was dope. 7, he had an arc. The kid had an arc. The film goes to its natural trajectory. It worked. It was dope. It was better than this film that we were just talking about that I old man brain through.
Oh, him.
Him. Yeah, okay. Him. Its third act goes completely off the rails, and again, I see that for what they're going for,
right?
It's there, but I think it needed more wound time. It needed more cook time overall.
All right, I do have a question. So, out of the 3 films that we know of Jordan Peele, Get Out, Us, and Nope, is this film more like Nope, or is it like a combination of films, even though he didn't direct it?
In that, okay, I'm trying to add it. I'm figuring out where I would add it into the wheelhouse.
That's a very good question. That was good.
It's not necessarily, my safe guy answer I'll give. It's not necessarily in any of those categories, but when it comes to like form of storytelling, it's closer to All right, this may not make sense, and I'm sorry, but this is the best that I got. It's kind of like closer to Nope in pacing, but closer to Us when it comes to suspense. If that makes any kind of sense. And those people who may have seen both and like disagree. If you've seen him and you completely disagree, I understand. But that's for like me, how the film like paced itself, the imagery, the way that it was shot. Elements of it reminded me of both Us and Nope. But it's not necessarily in either film's like wheelhouse. It's not on either film's level.
Which would make sense because it's a different
That's
director.
The most I got for that.
It's a different vibe,
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Yeah, and I'll even add this to the movie's credit too. The way that it's shot, I would even say that it's like kind of got something that neither film executed particularly well in themselves. When it came to how they like would sequence events, it was day 1 through 7, I think, with this. How they kind of chaptered and bookended it with these little vignette moments. It's been like a thing recently. The other show, Black Summer, did that too.
Filmmakers are doing that now.
I kind of like it. Yeah, it's like it breaks them up into like almost little book chapters instead of just your conventional 3-act structure where you can tell, all right, this is the turning point, this is the second act.
So it's like
you just
Weapons.
Have them, Weapons does the same thing. This is becoming a thing. It may just be like the style with this like generation of filmmakers, but I like that it kind of bookends each portion and sets up each part with kind of like the name and the chapter and where we're at and what then is like the thematic idea of that chapter name.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that. It does this. Black Summer does this. It works to its strength, and neither of those films do that. Neither of those do. So it's kind of different in its way.
All right. Well, since you brought it up, let's go right into Black Summer.
Oh yeah. This one I'm rewatching it. I got like an episode and a half left. It's paused in the back.
Mm-hmm.
This is. Bear with me here. This is if The Walking Dead past season 1 kept its spine.
Mm-hmm.
For those who have gone into like any type of like behind the scenes detail on The Walking Dead, it's kind of interesting. But originally it was directed by the showrunner, I think, was Frank Darabont.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy that did Shawshank Redemption, The Mist, 2 of my all-time favorite joints. Both those films are excellent.
The Mist makes me mad every time, but go ahead.
I know it's such a frustrating ending, but it's so good. Shawshank Redemption, just again, one of my all-time favorite films, just an excellent freaking film.
Right.
And he directed the first season of The Walking Dead, and all of that good stuff was in there. That pacing, that character development, that dialogue, it was all there. And then Frank Darabont got into it with AMC, who owns the show,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up getting kicked off by season 2. And then it became the pop culture phenomenon that they advertised it to be, because that's literally what that was. The first season was excellent. We all loved it. Then after that, AMC took that steam, put all that into advertising. The quality of the show was still good, but it wasn't Frank Darabont. What he had planned for the show was more what Black Summer does when it comes to the characters, pacing, how the series unfolds. It's more of a kaleidoscope than it is just following a few characters that we like who are good looking and shipping them and having them go on these adventures that you know for a fact they'll come back from because plot armor. This show does not do that. From episode 1, the show lets you know no characters have plot armor, and it focuses particularly on what Walking Dead initially had going for it, which was if you survive, you gradually become someone else.
Right.
You become kind of a dingier, ruffled, more hardened human being if it doesn't break you outright.
Right.
The
So
show
is this about zombies?
Oh, this is the best kind of zombies, Corey. These are the zombies that when they get bitten, they don't lose. They don't become shamblers. They don't walk. They're closer to the 28 days later zombies.
Right. They're coming for you.
Right. They're dying. They're coming for you. It's like a burst of
adrenaline.
Plus that like dead man strength, and they can power through any kind of damage, and you have to take them out with a headshot. So these are the best kind of hard mode zombies where it's like, bruh, if you're not in the best shape of your life and ready to throw down with weaponry, you're not going to make it.
Right.
And our characters, the people that we introduce over the course of a season, not everybody's going to make it.
And the acting is good. The acting is good.
Acting is some of the best stuff when it comes. There are scenes that play out to where there is no there's no dialogue, just action and facial and expression and human emotion. It's kind of great. And they bookend it, like we were saying before, with each chapter has its own little, like, sometimes it'll just be Sam, sometimes the chapter's called Push or Pull, but it correlates to what happens in the scene. They give you a character name, they give you a scenario, detention, without spoiling anything for the show. It only got 2 seasons, each one's 8 episodes. I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Check it out.
Yeah. Good. I think it was good. Definitely was good. Alrighty. All right, so let's move on to Haunted Motel.
How? Hotel. Did
Hotel.
you say motel?
What did I say? Oh, it's hotel. Haunted Hotel. I just saw it. As soon as you said to check it out, I checked it out right before the show. So,
It's pretty funny.
I saw episode 1 and I laughed twice. So I was a little disappointed because this is a brilliant. We've seen this a lot in Nickelodeon. You know, like they'll have like a comedy thing and there'll be a ghost in the house, and I mean that concept is not new. Having the
like Casper. What's the
like a Casper kind of thing, but this is interesting because it's a whole haunted hotel,
So,
which I think is
do you want me to
that's
break it
kind of
down?
cool. Yeah, you can break it down.
Yeah.
All right. So, this lady, she inherits a hotel that's been in the family. The only thing is, the entire hotel is haunted. So, the grounds, the basement, and episode 1, it does a great job of introducing you into the world and let you know what the show is about instead of like, how you have to wait and build up and like what's going on. This show does a very good job of pulling you in, introducing you to the characters, and then going from there. Episode 2 is where it takes off. So
Okay.
I would
Is it
say
animated or live action?
it's animated.
Okay. So
It's
I'm thinking like Munsters meets like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. If y'all ever watched that show.
I would say more of Adam's Family meets the Wonderful Adventures of Gumball.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It sounds about right.
It's funny, it's zany, it's goofy, but then there's also lessons in there from episode 2. Episode 1, it just brings you in. This is a hotel. This is what it is. Episode 2, you start getting into characters and how the ghosts operate and how the hotel is supposed to operate. It's pretty good.
So she inherits the hotel, but
Mhm.
it's effectively like the entire land infrastructure. It's mystical or whatever. It's subject to paranormal activity. But how does she keep it open? Like if they're to actual people, like normal people visit
That's
the
the
hotel
fun.
too?
That's the fun thing. So when people come in, you don't know if they're real or if they're ghosts.
Yeah, until that check doesn't clear. And you don't get paid. How do you get people pay for hotel rooms?
Something always gives it away.
Until
I'll say
that card doesn't work. Oh, well, it's the card's not real. Okay, then I guess what? We ain't got no vacancies, homie. Sorry.
Yeah, like
You can't-
here's your key, and the key goes right through the hand. Like, oh, okay.
I thought that was an interesting device. They show you that
Was
right
this
from the
originally
very
Cartoon
beginning.
Network thing? This also sounds like it would have been a Cartoon Network type of joint.
It's a little too mature for Cartoon Network because it does get episode 1 it's basic. Episode 2 is where it starts taking off and you're like,
So more Adult Swim than regular Cartoon Network is what you're saying?
yeah, more Adult Swim.
Okay, all right.
More Adult Swim, vintage MTV.
I can see that.
All right.
Yeah, I would like
I'm
to
gonna
see
check
one
it out.
more episode. The first one, like I said, it's because it's so brilliant in some ways. I wanted it to be funnier rather than just
Episode
goofy,
1.
zany. It's like that's
Right.
a joke. Like I'm spotting the jokes, but I'm not laughing from the joke.
That's you
And
being
this is
an
the
elder.
issue
Seven.
with pilots.
Say it again?
This is
That's
the issue
Seven
with
being an elder.
pilots.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, I like
Pilots,
Ren and
yeah, that's true,
Stimpy.
too.
Cut it out.
No, that's true too. It usually takes, I think they say, particularly like animated shows in that first season of a thing. It takes the first like 2 to 8 episodes for you to kind of for the actors and the kind of style to kind of find its groove.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
certain voice actors are kind of easy into inflection and how they want to talk and how they deliver jokes. And for comedy, that's major. Your delivery is everything.
Right.
Right. So if that's the case and they're a little slow at the beginning, I can give that credence. It's just Seven. When it comes to your take on humor, you want to know what the problem is? I have the same problem. We're a different generation of what humor is.
Right.
Humor to us and humor to what the Gen Zombie,
Right.
Gen Airhead,
Right.
Gen Z and A. Gen Z and A
Right.
onward, their idea of comedy is quick bursts of kind of oafish, foolish, erratic things. Things just seem to be happening. Make a pop culture joke, and then random things need to be happening, and then on to the next segment. Did any of those jokes hit? No. No, none of them will hit. There'll be a setup, but there'll be no payoff, or the payoff is weak.
Right.
There's the comedy's just kind of in a weird void right now. So you and I aren't going to laugh as much these days.
I will say, continuity-wise, it does get there. Like, it builds off of itself. So I think just giving it time, like episode 1 is not as funny as it should be. Like you're saying, you're so mesmerized by the brilliancy of it. The jokes don't necessarily hit because you're still being introduced to the hotel. But then episode 2 is where it starts like...
Yeah, because the world is like set. I mean, they kind of throw you into it. Like, there was a scene where... So in this story, the woman that inherits this hotel, it seems like her brother used to run it, but then he died, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, you got to see the episode, but he was sucked into, like, I guess the afterlife, and he had to come back through his nephew. You got to watch it to get it. But
those poltergeists.
Yeah, so
he ends up possessing his nephew to come back.
Not quite. Like they were using him as a conduit to get back. But anyway, the woman is trying to talk to the brother on the other side, and he's like, "Where am I?" Well, you're in your nephew. And he's like, "Oh, he looks like he might be depressed." I laughed at that just because you saw all this dark stuff going inside in this environment. It was so subtle, but that was hilarious. Yeah, and there was another one where she said something, and a ghost went and ran. It was so little, but I thought it was just so hilarious. Versus the bigger stuff they were trying to make funny. But Drew, I hear you.
Jokes as opposed, the attempts at jokes. When they attempt to make a joke, it's really weird too. Right. When things are funny, it's almost accidental. Right. There'll be a feature or a delivery, right? Which I kind of think play that to your strengths. If it's in the delivery, just have the thing play its course, have the scene play out, and then have an eye for what in those moments from the actors work versus just trying to force a joke. But yeah, when they go for a joke, it's like it kind of puffs, it's like it sputters itself out, and then it won't hit. I'm like, all right, you tried, I guess. That was humor.
I think what you're saying about the different generations is reflected in the show because there is a demon who possesses the body of an 8-year-old boy who's been there for like thousands of years. He is funny. And then you have her kids who are also there with her. And, you have the whole inside out moment of like, oh, I didn't want to move here, and you're dealing with emotions, and you're communicating with ghosts. It's zany. I definitely say it's a must watch.
I'll check it out. Haunted Hotel.
And since we have like a minute left, I saw a movie called Cobweb. I'm trying to find good Halloween films to. All I could say to this one, it was the ending was really. It didn't give you that payoff, but the build-up was really good. Like they really.
What is this about exactly?
So basically, this young boy, he has these nightmares, and he gets bullied in school, and then it seems like the wall is talking to him. Then it seems like there's something in the wall scaring him at night. Then at some point he befriends this thing in the wall. And during the movie you're trying to figure out what the hell is this? What is going on? And then
is this a dude living in their home, like inside the walls giving him advice, or is this some kind of weird entity that's befriending this child for nefarious
I don't want to give it away because that's the whole movie if someone's interested in watching it. But
it's like Amityville Horror whispering.
Yeah, when you build up, and then you kind of like some things don't make sense that you just really would love to have clarification on, but you just kind of move past it, and it's like, well, why did you just kind of move past it? And then I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But the acting was good. The kid in it was great. There's a sister in there that did a great job. Oh, run out of